Shalom, this is Kabash Ban Yasharala, and before I have to today's lesson, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to the Most High in the name of His Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, in the true Paleo Hebrew tongue. Call Halayim, La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ha, Rakah, Quadash, Ma'amath. I want to give double honors to apostles and elders, GMS who rule well and teach well. I want to give double honor to my elder as well, Herawan Ban Yasharala of the Lions Den Camp here in Jacksonville, Florida. And I want to say shalom to the Akim foreign quarters on the globe, pushing his truth and sincerity. With that being said, this lesson is going to the topic of a man being his hiding place from the wind. Basically, meaning a man shall be a protector of those with him from the things to come. And it's gonna be kind of an impromptu lesson. I have two scriptures in mind that I know I want to get, but we'll see where the Spirit takes us from there. But this lesson is coming from a string of recent events that have been going on in my life, to where it's not a coincidence anymore. You know, sometimes the Lord show us things repeatedly because we know we don't get the message the first time. We think something to be coincidental, this, that, and the third. But when it happens over and over again, you get the Lord trying to tell you something, show you something, and we got to take heed to that. And that's where this lesson is stemming from. So, Isaiah 32:2, a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as the rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. So, with the plagues and judgments that and the prophecies to come into this place, being sent by Yahweh Shemel Shai, anything not on that foundation isn't going to stand. The only thing going to be able to stand are the men standing on that foundation, and those women and children follow behind them. The men, women, and children. But anything else not going to suffice. These church pastors, these worldly prophets, so to speak, they're not going to be able to stand. They're not going to be that hiding place. These rulers of this world, these so-called kings, this, that, and the third, they won't know what to do. They won't have a protection. They won't be able to protect anybody, lead anybody. Only those with the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai will be that hiding place from the wind that the Lord is sending to this place. That judgment. The plagues. And and the Lord, you know, he shows us what He's making us now through, like I said, through like things that He puts us through, that He helps us to overcome as long as we stay in His spirit. Like, for instance, I had a couple of altercations at my job, well, both of my jobs, and just going into the store one time to where it could have got violent, ugly, this, that, and the third. But for some reason, because I'm there, I was able to play mediator and diffuse the situation, be that hiding place from, you know, that covert from the tempest. And that just means like a shelter from the storm, you know. The Lord put me in a position to be a shelter, a refuge to some people in these last couple of days. And, you know, not that I asked, you know, we don't ask to get put in these situations, but the Lord puts us in these situations to see how we're going to respond. And as long as we respond through the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai, we're an example of His spirit, you know, we'll overcome anything that's put before us. And the water Yahweh Shemel Shai for helping me to overcome these recent situations. But, you know, we can't be in the spirit of, you know, don't, cause that's kind of how I was feeling. Like the first time, it's a good thing I was here. Thank the Lord that we got through that one. Well, the second time it was, oh my goodness, boy, what's going on, man? I'm attracting drama everywhere I go now, you know. The third time, it's like, oh yeah, the Lord showing me something. Yeah, it's time to, yeah, you can't, you know, give credit where credit's due, you know. Because nothing is a coincidence out here. Everything is going according to the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai. And if He needs you to be a covert from the tempest, a shelter from the storm, we're to be that. Because that's what He called us to be. We're calling our people out of the darkness of this world. And there's people taking heed to the calling. The sound of the trumpet blowing. So we're to shine that light, to bring them into that hedge of protection. And show them the ways of Yahweh Shemel Shai. we're as rivers of water in a dry place. You know, we're refreshing to people. Like, I went to the store today, the same store where the first altercation went on at. They calling me, and you know, we calling you king now in here, something like that. You came in here, manned up, da-da-da, all that great wonderful stuff. And you know, I didn't think that first situation, it wasn't as serious as the most recent one, but even still, man, you know, they praising me, but I'm praising Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. And if given the chance, I introduced them to that. But then it's up for them to decide where they go with that. But that's neither here or there. The Lord was did that more so for me to see how He's dealing with me, and not just me only, but other Akim following His ways, or moving according to His wisdom, not your understanding. Cause this is for all of us, and this is just a little testimony, so to speak. But you know. And again, we're as a shadow of a great rock in a weary land, you know. Like I said, we stand on the solid foundation of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. We don't get shaken, moved. We don't waver in situations like this. We move according to the wisdom, knowledge, understanding of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, because He's the one that led us to this. Brought us into this. He put this obstacle in our path to see how we'd overcome it. Or would it be a stumbling block to us? And that's what it's all about. We're staying in the spirit and the mindset of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. We'll overcome anything. Isaiah 13:12, I'll make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. And that's what the Lord ultimately is doing, man. He's refining us as gold is tried, man. Making us to shine, making us to stand out in this place. Because in these other situations, there were other men, especially the last situation at my job, man, that was crazy. Because I'm in with a so-called man, I think he a 15-cent Indian, but regardless of the matter, man, he's more built to this weight situations. You know, he 6 foot something, over 200 pounds. He looked like a club bouncer. He could be a club bouncer just off his body frame. But he cowardice and fear, this, that, and the third. You know me, I ain't but a $140. But so I had to, you know, step up to the plate, so to speak. And it was a unruly person on the premises, and I had to deal with that situation. And while I felt like my coworker wasn't with me, the Lord was with me, so I was comforted in that. And the Lord showed me that regardless of the situation, man, He'll get us through it. And again, I was made a shelter from the storm to other people that was in that situation with me by stepping up to the plate. And people see that on you. You know, it's something about us, by how we carry ourselves, how we abide, how we, you know, handle certain situations. Versus someone without the Spirit of the Lord on them. They don't have that spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. So they're moving in haste, fear, and all these other things. But the Lord didn't give us a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. And we're to remember that in times like this. He's making us more precious than fine gold, man. We're spiritually rich. We may look poor, feeble, weak according to the carnal eyesight, but according to the spiritual eyesight, man, we soldiers for Mashiach's sake. We got armor on, and you know, we just soldiers. And so we're not move according to fear, because the Lord making us more precious than fine gold. He building us up. And from here, like I said, it's impromptu. I'm just going with the Spirit. Let's see. Romans 8:16. The Spirit itself bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of Yahweh. And if children, then heirs, heirs of Yahweh, and joint heirs with Hamashiach. If so be that we suffer with him, that we be also glorified together. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared to the glory which shall be revealed in us. So we might seem meek and lowly, defenseless right now, but through the Spirit, it bears witness that we're children of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. We're not children of this world. We stand out in this place. No matter how much we try to, because I don't do too much at the job. I'm a quiet guy. I don't too much like people. I don't like talking this, that, and the third. But even in that, the Lord will make you stand out. And that's one of the things He's been showing me. Because, somebody might look at you some type of way now, but regardless of how they're looking at you, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is going to reveal glory in us. So we got to keep moving according to the Spirit, keep striving for truth until death, stay on the path of righteousness. We can't lose focus. We can't lose sight in the Lord, especially in times of haste. Because the things that we're going through now, they're not worthy to be compared with the glory that shall be revealed in us. Because like the last scripture I brought out, that Isaiah 13:12, man, the Lord making us more precious than fine gold. Even the golden wedge of Ophir, which is, just some really fine gold, just to say that again. So we got to look at ourselves and how the Lord values us, not how this world values us, because this world looks at us as nothing. But the Lord looks at us as his children, his heirs. He's about to give us, He's about to let us inherit the kingdom and rule under the authority of Yahweh Shai, joint heirs with Him. And we're going to be glorified with Yahweh Shai in the kingdom. Because right now we're suffering with Him. We deal with the day-to-day affairs of this life, fighting not to get entangled with the affairs of it, just our own carnal thoughts, the temptations of this place, the darkness, this, that, and the third. We always fighting. But we striving. We're fighting the fight of faith. Because we want that glory to be revealed in us. We want the Lord to, when the Lord returns, we want Him to say unto us, well done, my good and faithful servant. So our faith should have works that back that up. So we can't sit back in certain situations and be like, that's not my job to do. Because even at my job, well, I'll say one of my jobs, it's not my job to do stuff like that, but it comes a point in time to where there has to be some type of intervention. And what Buddy was on the property doing, somebody had to intervene. Because it was this one lady, man, she was really in fear. And my co-worker, I've been told him to call the police. He didn't call the police until after incident had already got started. And me and Buddy could have been out there boxing. I could have been getting beat up for 40 minutes, could have got unalived, whatever the case may be. But through the Spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man, right when it was about to reach the situation about to reach its climax, man, he put an end to it. And I don't know this lady. I don't know if she'll ever come back to that job. But she'll never forget. She'll never forget that. Or she is the type of person to forget that, it doesn't matter. Because like I said, the Lord does stuff to show us. We can't be seeking worldly praise and worldly, approval. We seek the approval of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. So we're going to go to Sirach chapter 2 and verse 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient with our change to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in Him, and He will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in Him. So we're to just be happy that we have Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai in our lives. Because no matter what no matter what brought before us, no matter what we're dealing with, what we're going through, man, the Lord with us, man. And He'll get us through whatever situation it is, as long as we keep our faith and trust in Him. We can't try to find our own way. You know, because that shows lack of faith in the Lord. Your faith is wavering. You gave up waiting on him. You trying to find your own way out. But we got to be patient. Because like gold, you can't rush the process of perfecting gold. You have to sit in that fire and let all the impurities blot out, burn out, melt out, however you want to say that. And like the Lord said again, that Isaiah 13:12, man, the Lord making us more precious than fine gold. So we're going to be that perfect gold. Whatever Jake like flexing with, that's what we're going to be. I like to personally say, well, he's going to make us that 144K gold. So that's what we want to be, man. We want to be spiritually perfect through the Spirit. So we got to sit there in the fire. Because ultimately it's the Lord that got us in here. He's trying us. He's trying our faith in certain situations. All we have to do is keep believing in him and trusting him. And he'll order our ways. Because he's the puppet master pulling the string. He's the author of the book. He wrote up the script. He wrote out everything that we go through and all these things. We got to trust in him that we're going to stay in the sight of his favor. But when we lose faith in the Lord, he'll stop dealing with you. He'll stop protecting you and just give you over to whatever fear, temptation, whatever it is that you're dealing with. But that's pretty much all I had as far as this lesson. But matter of fact, I'll go back to this first one again. We'll end it off there. Isaiah 32:2. And a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadows of a great rock in a weary land. So again, man, the Lord making us, he making us to be, because like the same way the Lord's name is a strong tower, he's building us up to be pillars of his kingdom. So the more his name is exalted, the more we'll be exalted behind him. You know, we hope to be of that elect to rule in the kingdom with Yahweh Shai. But as for right now, we're fishers of men. So we go out on the highways and byways. You know, we ain't done. What's that? Ezekiel 9:4. Ezekiel 9:4. And Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So we should go about our day-to-day lives, you know. We shine that light of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, whether we're teaching or we're just there. That light is on us. Gold shines in darkness. So we stand up regardless. Cause like even if we just chilling on our own, you know, the Lord, you know, it's like the Batman symbol. The Lord make us spring into action. We gonna do that. And you know, just to be made an example of his spirit. Ultimately to exalt his name. And whether somebody, you know, shows appreciation for that or not, you know, it could be the Lord just showing you how far he led you. Because you might be in a so-called sherm jet before you came to the truth, like a little soft guy. The Lord done built you up to where you stand boldly now. And the Lord will show you something like that. Because even me, I won't say I wasn't like a soft jet, but you wouldn't have told me I wouldn't have been stepping in and mediating situations how I am now. You know, he's making us leaders of our people. We're tending to Yahweh Shai sheep. He said we love him, feed his sheep. And somebody gonna ask you where you know, they gonna inquire of your wisdom, knowledge, understanding, how you carry yourself, how you move, just based off how you moving, how you thinking, your thought process. And then, you know, that's when, you know, we tell them, man, I'm a man of the Lord. I'm Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, this, that, and the third. You just put it on them. And whether they hear or forbear, you know, you told them, whether they want to believe it or not. But there's people that see you overcoming situations through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai, they'll hear you out teaching or whatever, practicing what you preach. And you know, you'll lead them out of the darkness. And you don't even, that's why he said you never know who's watching. So we're to be in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai at all times. You could be a good example or a bad example. We want to be good examples. We want to be good fruit, not fruit to be cast down into fire. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and end it. So Yahweh Razak, this lesson was edifying. And until next time, I'm going to say shalom.